We both hate each other. It's so sad. That's the odd part. Black men don't hate black women. Black women hate black men.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing. Black men suck.
They're
bad. They cheat. They don't care. I'm with the white boys.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing.
Why is that?
I don't like black men. Not very many meet my standards.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing. They're just terrible.
And for all intents and purposes, we can tell that they hate us for one sole reason. And that reason is because we have self-worth and value now. And we decided to ask the question, for doing what it is we do for women, what do we get out of it?
When a man asks you, what do you bring to the table? What did you hear him just?
For me, if a man asks me, what would I bring to the table? It's telling me to audition for him. It's telling me that he thinks that his value is already understood. His value was already clear. Like he has nothing to prove, but I do. Instead of saying, how can we make each other's lives better? Or actually getting to know me to see what I bring to the table. He wants me to impress him.
They've lived their whole life underneath the fabric of protection and love and caring and provision that men provided without having to give anything in return because our grandfathers and our fathers, let's be honest, were simps.
One of the reasons I feel like our grandparents and great-grandparents, other than some of the laws and rights that women may not have had or we may or not have, or we had the highest rate during slavery of marriage, I think one of the things that go over a lot of people's head is that they were simps. Listen to the music. Listen to Diana Ross, Inside Out. Listen to that. What's the Whitney Houston song where she was a side chick? I forget the name of it. I think Steve Urkel might have been singing it to Laura. Don't forget Mary. I think Mary Davis from the SOM band. I don't care about them other girls. Just be good to me. And we don't have to go through the long line of simps, music. Was it Carl Thomas that was mad because his side chick had a family? Was it Keith Sweat begging? It was just a lot of, it was simps on both sides. They were simping on both sides.
They preach to them, regardless of what you're doing, a man is supposed to provide and protect for you. And this generation of men said, fuck that. You're going to render your body. You're going to render submission. You're going to be loving, caring, nurturing, and kind. You're going to smile, and you're going to treat me with decency, and you're going to act as though you actually enjoy being here, or you can get the fuck on.
Get the phone out of my face.
Like, why? We could be doing so much for us. Black men are still working, still willing to provide, still willing to protect. We're just not going to do it for nothing, and that culture shock is broken black women. Like my coach used to say, you got to bring some to get some. Bars.
Ladies, feminism lied to us, and we just ate it up. They told us that rebellion was power, but all it gave us was confusion, burnout, and situationships. In the eyes of feminists, you don't need no man, right? Okay, but why are you secretly craving love, stability, and protection?
Yeah, she's a liar, because I don't know her. So whatever she says is a lie,
So somehow obeying God became oppressive, while being overworked, over-sexualized, and overlooked became empowerment. Please make it make sense.
The reason why women are no longer behaving traditionally is because men are no longer behaving traditionally. Y'all aren't behaving traditionally either, and traditionally...
She right. They not behaving traditionally because of us. It's our fault.
This isn't my fault.
We're the ones telling them to be naked online. We're the ones telling them to be emotionally unavailable and argumentative. We're the ones telling young women to start OF pages. We are the ones telling them that they don't need no man. Oh, wait. That's women telling women those things.
What is the best advice you've ever heard or received? I'll give you the sentence. And if you want me to explain it, I can, but everything is your fault. Yeah, you can explain it. Everything is your fault comes back to like you are the CEO of your life. My very first mentor that I had, I paid $500 a month to have my first coach when I was 19, about to turn 20. And we worked together for 2 years. We had some great calls. I don't remember any of them. I remember one. And what it was I had made so many excuses as to why I was late to calls, why I didn't hit my assignments, why I didn't do what I needed to do. And he had this really tough conversation with me. And he said, Rob, if a business succeeds, whose fault is it? And I was like, I mean, what do you mean? He's like, if a business succeeds, all 1,000 employees move into the direction they have a successful year. Whose fault is it? The person who orchestrated. I was like, the CEO. He said, if a business fails, whose fault is it? And it's the CEO. He said, Rob, if you get to the end of your life and it's not what you wanted it to be, and you didn't create the life that you wanted to, make the money that you wanted to, have the success, the love, the happiness, travel the places that you wanted to, whose fault would it be? And I said, it'd be my fault. And he said, if you did create the life that you wanted to, have the love, the happiness, the abundance, everything that you wanted, whose fault would that be? And I said, it'd be my fault. And he said, the problem with you is you're treating this life as if you're the victim. And what you need to realize that everything that happens to you is your fault, and that your life won't change until you decide that you want to be the CEO of your life.
If you're not naturally feminine or you aren't naturally masculine, then that's a skill issue, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with me or her. She talking about she's becoming less feminine because she has to work. That's like me saying I'm becoming less masculine because I got to cook my own food. I got to do my own laundry, so I'm becoming less masculine. Like, no, that's not how that works. You're a grown adult living on your own who's single. Of course, who the hell's going to pay your bills? You're single. Are you saying you want to go back to what it was like back in the day where you would just live with your parents until you were wedded off? Is that what you're referring to? There are men out here who has zero issue, having a stay-at-home wife. None whatsoever. I'm one of them.
Do you prefer a stay-at-home wife or a woman that gets her own bread?
Heidi.
How you doing? Okay, so my question was, does he prefer a stay-at-home wife or a woman that gets her own bread?
Stay home.
Stay home?
These are my 4 kids.
Well, the reason is because masculinity has to be earned and femininity has to be protected and preserved. And if you got a woman that's out working, trying to find her own bread, you better make sure you're a lot better than her. She's dumping your ass and she's moving on to somebody else.
I like that.
But it's not like you go on a date and then randomly you become a stay-at-home wife. No. She's talking about on dates, she be thinking about other things because she got bills, so she's not all the way there. She's talking about she be cussing at the dude and stuff like that. If that's what come naturally to you, that's cool. But someone that wants to be a traditional housewife, that's a natural thing that comes naturally. How the hell you blaming men for being masculine? You ain't even got a man. What?
None of us in here can be considered traditional women. And back then, an average guy could get a traditional woman. And now what does he get? He gets a boss bitch, a boss babe, a girl that's been ran through. He gets an he gets a born again virgin. Like,
and what do
this
I
is
get?
as women, this is what do we get? We still get protection and provisioning.
Yeah. That's right. Are you sure?
And the average salary, but here's the thing: the average salary could cover an apartment. But the thing is, like, women, we want this lifestyle that's not even realistic nowadays. Like, we want men that make more than we do, and we want them to pay all of the bills. But it's like, we all have our nails done. We have, we get our hair dyed. We have makeup. We have all of this stuff that costs money because we want this lifestyle. And I've had girls come on my show, and I say, would you date an average guy for companionship? But you would have to go down in lifestyle. And they say, no, we're addicted to lifestyle.